Hello everyone, nice to meet you. Welcome to Info2Soft i2DTO demonstration. i2DTO can help us achieve the data synchronization and migration between different storage types, such as synchronize data between local to object storage, and migrate data between the homogeneous and heterogeneous object storage. Today, we prepared 3 servers for the demonstration. One i2 app, the console server, we can operate on the web UI. One MinIO object storage. One DTO host as the Synchronize machine. Before starting the DTO synchronization, we should add the MinIO object storage and DTO host to our web console. We can go to the resource, DR backup resource, DTO host, and we can add the object storage in our storage management, storage media, object storage. After add the object storage, we can create the bucket or import the existing bucket to our web console. We can select the bucket from the platform. After the addition, we can access the DR and migration, object storage synchronize. Here we have different options for the synchronization. We will present the synchronize, recovery, compare, and archive in sequence. Firstly, the synchronize. We can click the new button to create a rule. Here we can input its name and select the Synchronize machine. Also support different tabs for the Synchronize policy, the manual, periodical, and the interval. We can schedule the rule as demand, then set up the source path. We can select the path under our root directory. And specify the target path. Here we can select a bucket in the MinIO storage. Besides these basic settings, we can click above options to configure advanced settings, such as compare tabs, transfer threads, compress, encrypt, and so on. Then click confirm to submit this rule. Its status will be idle because we just select manual synchronize. Let's generate some test files in the DTO host. Then let's compare the target path in our bucket. We can see this is empty in the MinIO storage. Then return to our web console and start it manually. All the existing files will be replicated to the target MinIO bucket. We can refresh to check the status. After the status turns to finished, we can access the MinIO bucket to check the content. All the fields are totally same with the DTO host source path. This is the process of synchronize from our local to object storage. Next, we can test the recovery. For some scenarios, users want to retrieve data from object storage to our local. We can connect object storage to our web console. Then create a recovery rule to retrieve the data to local. We can click the new to create a new job. We can complete the basic settings and select the source storage and what folder and what files want to recover. Then specify the target path we want to restore to. Besides the basic settings, also we can configure some advanced settings such as the compare tab, transfer threads, and the scanning threads for the object storage. Then click Confirm to submit that. Its status will be idle. Before we starting the job, we can delete some files from our local. We can see this directory has been empty now. So we can return to the web console and start the recovery. Its speed is very fast because we just have a little data to be transferred. Now we can return to our local host to check the data status. Now we can see the selected folder and files has been synchronized from object storage to our local. This is the process of the recovery, which can help us retrieve the data from remote set to our local. And besides the synchronize and recovery, let me introduce our compare and archive feature. We will add a local file system as local storage. We can go to the storage management, storage media, object storage. We add a local file system as our local storage. Then we can go to the DR and migration, the object storage synchronize, the compare. We can create a new rule to compare that. We can select the rule tab, compare only, or the compare and synchronize. And it has the manual, periodical, and interval synchronize tab. Here we can select the source storage and the target storage. We can select the source path from our local. And the target path in the MinIO object storage. Then besides the basic settings, we have some advanced configuration. For the compare, we can compare by the file size and the intelligence compression, mdiv check, ignore target files. Besides these settings, let me introduce our archive feature, which can help us automatically archive the data to the object storage and clear them from our local. We can set up the archive condition, the 19 days before the files will be cleared and archived to object storage. And we can set up its name feature and the file type. We can use the regular expression to set up that it will filter the files and folders. Then we can click confirm to submit. After submitting the rule, we can take some changes in our local path. And we will change the system temp settings to trick the archive. After generate the outdated files, we can revert our system settings. The modified files will be replicated to the target bucket, and the outdated files will be cleared after the archive. We can return to the web console and start that job manually. It will be fast because the data amount is very small. On the web console, we can see the summary of last comparison result. The identical, different, missed, total, and the transmitted files, transmitted data size will be listed on the web console. Then we can go to the MinIO Object Storage and to check the data status. Only these 3 files are archived to our object storage, and other files in the local path, we can see the outdated files has been cleared. This is the process of compare and archive function. In the last, if we want to revert some archived data from object storage, Info2Soft provides an option. We call that backsource. We can find it in the resource, DRBK resource, DTO host, and here we have the view archives. Here we can select one or more file or folders to our local path. We can check its status in the record. We can see it has been success, and in our local path, the outdated files has been reverted. This is the whole process of Info2Soft i2DTO solution. Thanks for your watching.